All right, Julian, I'm here to ask you a few questions about burnout. Burnout is a very important topic in the property management world. Property management is a very difficult business. You're dealing with difficult people. And so, what are some signs that I should be looking out for that would help me see when my team is starting to get burned out?
Some of the things that we've seen that come up really consistently is just making little mistakes, not showing up on time in the mornings. Just there are key phrases. There are certain phrases such as, man, that was tough, or I know I'll just power through this and things will be
Hmm.
in a better place. That type of thing, that type of phrase, it's key to be very attuned and very in tune with your team and how they're feeling and just their everyday comments on the effort they feel that they're having to put into remembering everything and to making sure that everything gets done.
Yeah, because they're not going to come out and say, Julian, I'm burnt out. Like, they're never going to say that because they don't they worry you're going to fire them or something. So they'll try to like hint around it, or they'll drop kind of subtle hints that you really have to be tuned into to pick up on as an owner or as a manager, because most people want to do a good job. They don't want to complain or burden you, but that means it's on you to really pay attention and notice if there's been like a change in their performance or like the comments you explained that they might make. And so, we've talked, and I'm really interested in what you've identified as a common source of burnout, which is the team tracking their to-dos and their tasks outside of the main software that they use for property management. So tell me more about that. Like, why is that a bad thing and how does it contribute to burnout?
Well, right before getting into this, I'd like to say one of the things that we've seen that is very powerful in leadership as a whole is to kind of be a shock absorber. So not to pass on the pressure that you as a business owner or you as the leader has, and then pass it on to your team and have that affect their performance. So that's one thing I really like to emphasize on. And the second on their to do is their daily. How are they prioritizing their day? It is so interesting to us because we go to as a senior account executive, I'm meeting mostly with larger accounts and
Hmm.
bigger companies, and it's very interesting that once you're interviewing and you're having your discovery calls with leadership, they'll tell you we do everything inside of our property management software,
Yeah.
property planning software, everything gets done there. We don't go out. But then once you start interviewing the individual team players, everybody's got their own thing going on, and that is so consistent in everything that in every conversation that we have. Basically, it's they've got a checklist on their iPhone. They're creating tasks on their calendar. They're using their calendar as their to-do list, or they're
Sticky
printing out.
notes,
Oh,
using email
so
as a to-do list, or I think some team members even spin up their own. They may try out using Airtable or Monday.com or just anything to get a handle on it.
it's so interesting that you mentioned that because some people go as far as paying for it themselves as a team. They don't even ask the business owner to pay for it. They'll say, you know what, I need Monday.com. And then everybody's got all these subscriptions going on,
Yep.
and none of that is interacting with anybody and with each other. And then forgetting the inputs, forgetting to do things and to keep those up to date.
Yeah.
And the
I,
worst is when they're printing them out and checking them off. That's the worst.
yeah. I love how you're highlighting that disconnect between sort of ownership management versus how the work's actually getting done. And you
Right.
may think your team is using, oh yeah, of course they're just doing everything right inside, XYZ software, but then you actually observe them doing their work and talk to them and you get the real story basically. So, um, so how does LeadSimple actually fix this? So how does LeadSimple make this better? And then what actually happens with burnout, once everyone is using the same software and they're all keeping track of their tasks within it?
Well, this type of software has two different impacts. So, one is you're not having to remember everything. So, essentially, it's making it very easy for you to remember everything you have to do, but it's also making it hard for you to skip a step. So, that's
Hmm.
crucial in what we do. Another interesting aspect is that now I feel I have more autonomy. Like I'm following what I have to do. I'm following the priorities that are set for me. So it's not somebody else telling me. It's not my boss telling me these are the 7 things I think you should be doing today. It's I already have a planned out checklist of the things that I should be doing and where I need to focus because it's very different to focus on what's urgent than doing the right thing at the right time, right?
Yep. Love it. Cool. So if someone's listening to this and they're hearing about Lead Simple, they're hearing about tasks and burnout, and they're interested in getting started with Lead Simple. So first, Julian, I know they can book and have a time and speak with you. You've done hundreds of these implementations before. You've onboarded so many customers who have had successful outcomes with Lead Simple. But is there anything else going on that we should know about? Like, is there any sort of, anything that might help somebody who knows they need to get started with Lead Simple, but they're feeling a little bit of resistance or they're a little bit worried about how it's actually going to go.
Yeah, so there are two things that really hold people back, and it's first, oh, implementation is going to be so difficult, or my team buy-in. My team's not going to buy into this. This is going to be hard.
Hmm.
So there are two ways that we're tackling this. First is we have standalone tasks right now, which are so helpful. For example, you get all of your team members and you say, all right, I need everybody to give me 10 to 15 tasks slash communications that you'd like to have reminders around every month.
Hmm.
Just that, that's where it clicks. It's not micromanaging. It's something that's actually going to nudge me and it's going to help me remember where I should be. So that rollout we're so excited about. And then the second part that we're super excited about is the 3 week implementation. So we've got limited slots right now, and it's something that we're trying out. We fully stand behind it and we guarantee it, the results that in 3 weeks we're going to be able to implement your whole team. We're going to build it for you. It's not a build with you approach. We're going to build the whole process for you. And once it's built, we're going to train you on how to use it, and your team is going to have their input. Everything's going to be done for you in
Yeah.
3 weeks, essentially, which is a brand new, very exciting approach we're taking. Already tried and tested, so we're
Yeah.
ready and limited slots.
Love it. Super excited about that. So if you want to learn more about Lead Simple, get with Julian. He'll give you all the details, and there is a link to book time with Julian below. Thanks, Julian.
No, thank you.